Rainollon here. Today is another build showcase and it's the Acceltra Prime. So let us immediately start. Starting with the mods I'm using. I'm using critical delay, which gives you a lot of critical chance, but lowers your fire rate. Negative fire rate, it's not that big of a deal on Acceltra. Vital Sense for critical damage. Prime Firestorm, that increases your blast radius on your weapon. And Acceltra is an AoE weapon, and its base explosion is 5 meters. And with Prime Firestorm, it goes all the way up to 7.2 meters, which is amazing. It's a must-have, I will say. Prime Cryo Rounds, which gives you a lot of cold damage, and I'm also using Facet Clip, which gives you a lot of toxin damage. Toxin and cold gives you viral. I'm also using Galvanized Chamber for multi-shot to kill stuff, get even more multi-shot. Prime Bane of the Orcan, this is a multiplicative damage increase towards factions, so you just swap this against the faction you're going to be fighting. And Hunter Munition, 30% chance to proc slash on crit, and we do have 100% chance to crit, so this is overall amazing. So yeah, those are the mods I'm using. For the Exilus Weapon Adapter slot mods, they all are horrible. Personally, I will not recommend anything, but if you truly want to use something, Vigilant Supplies, which will heavily fix your ammo economy, and also 5% chance to enchant your critical hits from primary weapons. I will say this is the best one, but I highly recommend to ignore this entirely. So yeah, for the Arcane, I'm using Prime and Merciless. Kill stuff, you get 30% increased damage for 4 seconds. Stacks up all the way up to 12%, 12 times, not percent. And that gives you 360% increased damage, which is a lot of damage. And also reload speed, which helps decently, I will say. So yeah, this is, in my opinion, the best in slot Arcane for Acceltra, so I highly recommend. So yeah, now let's talk about the stats. So the fire rate on this weapon, some people love having a lot of fire rate. I think that's a massive bait. Don't go for fire rate. This is an AoE weapon and it's phenomenal for low level missions. Shooting 1 or 2 bullets is more than enough to clear a whole room, so you don't need to like load in like 20 rounds on like a small squad, so that's why you don't need a lot of fire rate. If you want to use fire rate, I will not recommend using mods. I will recommend using a Riven, and you just swap it with something here, or a fast fire rate Warframe like Gauss, Volt, or Wisp. That's something I will highly recommend. Magazine size is amazing, but maximum ammo is low, and that's like kind of a problem, but not really in my opinion. I never run out of ammo with this weapon because I don't just load in a whole clip on one small group. So if you have problems with ammo, use something to fix ammo problems like Carrier or Protea, or even use Vigilante Supplies. But overall, you will never run out of ammo with this weapon if you use it like I do, like 2 or 3 bullets on one squad. So yeah, Riven disposition, horrible, ignore this. Critical chance is pretty solid, critical multi is amazing. Status chance is quite low, that's why I'm not focusing on status chance, and I'm focusing on a lot of increased damage from the elemental mods. The weapon initial hit does impact, but we also have viral, thanks to these two. And the base damage on this is quite low for assault rifle, but the weapon has a radius attack, which is 5 meter radius, but thanks to Firestorm it's 7.2. And it does puncher slash, and we have viral because of these two. And the base damage on the AoE is pretty solid for a rapidly shooting assault rifle that has 7.2 meter radius explosion. It's pretty solid. If you combine the base initial hit and explosion, you will be doing like, I will say, okay, single target. But this is not designed for single target. This is more designed for low level missions to just eradicate enemies in seconds. So yeah, you only will focus on these stats here rather than these stats here. Overall, stat wise, for crit weapon, assault rifle, it's pretty good. So those are the stats, the mods. The Arcane, the passive is when you sprint, you have 25% reload speed. If you're using Gauss, it's 50%. It doubles it. It's okay. It's not that big of a deal. So yeah, time for me to show you in game how this weapon works. So you shoot the weapon and it explodes. But if you're very close to enemies and you shoot it, they'll create these bullets in the floor that there tells you you're not using the weapon properly. So what you need to do is not be close to enemies or walls. So when you shoot, you see how it's not creating those bullets because those bullets are not exploding. So you have to be in specific range for this thing to truly work. So I'm gonna spawn now. Arcane Battle Group, level 55, a regular star chart, and I'm going to be shooting them. And once you get some merciless stacks, it's pretty good, as you can see there. For regular star chart, this is one of the best clear weapons in game because it's massive AoE, it's constantly proccing hunter munition, it's constantly doing damage in a 7.2 meter radius. It's really good. But on high level missions, it does fall heavily. So I highly recommend using like a buffer Warframe, Mirage, Siren, Wisp, Rhino, or Octavia, something like that to fix the problem. But as you can see here, regular units die a couple of bullets, but Wardens and heavy gunners, they are not even feeling it at all. So I highly recommend choosing like a buffer, like I said, to fix that problem. So if I were to like swap it for Mirage, which is the strongest buffer in the game right now, she summons clones, which also do a lot of damage. She has third ability that gives her multiplicative damage. And if you shoot, it's much stronger. Heavy gunners are melting, as you can see there. It's much stronger, so I highly recommend using a buffer. Overall, that's pretty much Exilus Prime. I hope you enjoyed the build. Thank you everybody for watching. Please leave a like, it will help me out a lot. And see you all next time. Thank you. Goodbye.